Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to another Sims 4 house building video. In today's video, I am bringing you guys the house from Encanto. And this build has been a long time coming. And I know I start most of my videos by saying that, but this time it's slightly different. I wasn't just procrastinating. I wasn't just after losing a ton of footage. I just didn't get around to building this one. No real excuse, no real rhyme or reason. But I remember when the movie first came out in 2021, which is 2 years ago, which is crazy. I literally just Googled it before I started recording this because I was like, that movie came out like last year, like 6 months ago. No, 2021. It is now 2023, which is insane. But anyway, when the movie first came out, I was going to try and build it, and I did start to build it. And I was like, this is too hard. This is going to take forever. And I kind of just lost interest in the idea of building this house because so many people had built it. It was more or less all over YouTube and TikTok at the time, and it was just kind of one of those ones that I was like, am I really adding anything by building it? Probably not. And it was one of those movies that has like a house at the center of it. Like, so many people in the Sims community went and built it immediately, and I just wasn't that quick on the ball. So I was like, maybe I won't build this one. But now it's 2 years later, and I'm extremely behind on the trend, and I have decided to hop on board. And I am so happy that I did because this house turned out so good. I am honestly so proud of it. And I know I say that every video, and I know I say that every video, but this one is just good. I'm just really proud of it. It turned out so cool, and it kind of gave me a lot of opportunities to use a lot of objects that I wouldn't typically use in very different styles that I wouldn't typically use. It has a very Mediterranean feeling. I don't know if that's accurate. I think that the movie is set in Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. I could very well be mistaken. I haven't seen the movie since it came out. But if my memory serves me right, I believe that the animators and the creators behind the film had the intention of basing it on a Colombian family in a Colombian environment. I could be talking out of my ass here. I really don't know. Again, should have Googled this before I started, but I didn't. So here we are. But anyway, I was able to use so many items that I don't typically use in my builds. If you're familiar with my channel, I tend to build things from TV shows and movies. And in doing that, I just get to explore different styles. I've done a lot of like mid-century modern, I've done some very contemporary stuff, but I've never done something quite like this, and I'm just really happy that I did because I think it turned out so cool. I got to use lots of items from Island Living, Jungle Adventure. Weirdly enough, Jungle Adventure really came in clutch with this one, and I really think if you have Island Living and Jungle Adventure installed, and you decide to download this house, I genuinely think that the vast majority of the items will be there because I did pull a lot from those packs in particular. They just lent themselves really easily to this style. Really easily? I'm not saying that right. They lent themselves to this style of build. So if you do want to download this house, which you can, all of my builds are up on the gallery. My gallery ID is in the description, and if I remember, I never do, but if I remember, I'll put it in a pinned comment at the top of the comment section as well. But if you have those packs, you should be able to download this house and have the vast majority of the structure at least there. I don't tend to restrict myself with different content or excluding different packs from my builds, and I do have a lot of the packs, but I tend to not restrict myself just out of my own enjoyment of the game. I've bought all these games, I kind of want to use them, but I tried to restrict myself a little bit with this one, especially when building the skeleton of the house. I'm not sure about the wallpapers and the flooring, but I think that the doors, windows, and I think the columns are all base game Jungle Adventure or Island Living. I think. Please don't hold me to that, but I'm really hoping that that's the case. And the items inside, I do remember filtering a lot by Island Living and Jungle Adventure, so I presume a lot of the items are from those packs or the base game, because I tend to just go back to base game for some reason. Especially lately. I think I'm just getting bored of a lot of the content that's in The Sims. But I'm hoping that this house is one of the more download-friendly houses that I've built, because the houses that I've previously put on my channel are just full of all the packs, and I know that I've gotten a couple of comments of people suggesting maybe building something with just the base game and one pack in particular, and I'm definitely up for doing that. But when I'm building stuff based on TV shows and movies in particular, it's really hard to build something without the full range of items, because if I'm building something that's like very 80s inspired, I can't really just use the items from base game and like City Living or something, because the items don't necessarily lend themselves to that style. If that makes sense, I hope it does. But I know I've said this for about 6 months now, but I'm hoping to start a series of renovating the worlds. And I'm thinking what I might do is for the very quote-unquote classic Sims 4 houses, like the Pancakes house, the Land Grabs, not the Goths, because I've already done that on my channel, but those kinds of families, I'm thinking, oh, they'll be just base game. Those builds will just be base game. And I'm thinking, like, if I do eventually get around to like the island living world, I can just do the existing families. I'll renovate their homes with just the base game and island living, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So my intention is that down the line, if I do get around to all of these and you do want to download my finished save files with all the lots and everything, hopefully, depending on what version of the game you're playing, with what packs or whatever, you will be able to jump in and basically be able to continue. I'm not sure exactly if that's how it works. I'm not sure if it will exclude certain content from a certain save file if I try to save it. I'm not really sure of the technical side of that. I will figure all of that out and get back to you. But for now, that is the plan in my head. So stay tuned for those. But this house, anyway, I've gone on a rant there for a minute, but this house, I didn't really restrict myself, but I think in terms of the houses that I have built, this is probably one of the more friendly, downloadable ones, if that makes sense. But anyway, a bit about the build. So, like I was saying, I originally wanted to build this house when the movie first came out in 2021, but you know, everyone was doing it, yada, yada, yada. I've been over this. But anyway, the other day I got a comment on one of my other videos from someone who, I will put the comment on screen right now because I forgot to check your name before I started this. I'm so sorry, but I will put your comment on the screen right now. And they suggested that I build this house. And it kind of just sparked it in me again. And I was like, I'm going to give it another go. So what I did was I ran with the idea. Thank you for the suggestion. If anybody else has any suggestions for future houses, please leave a comment, let me know. I have gotten a few suggestions recently and I'm adding them to a list. I have started a list and hopefully I will be able to get through them all. But anyway, I ran with the idea of that comment and I was like, I'm going to give this house another go because I'm obsessed with this house. I think it's so cool. I will explain a bit more about the house in a minute in terms of the context of the movie, but for now I'm just talking about the build. Before I even hit record, I knew I was going to have to sit down and try figure out this floor plan because this one was hard. Anytime I'm building something from a cartoon in particular, it is really, really hard to try figure out the floor plan because animators just don't have to think about that. They don't have to think about how the windows line up from the outside compared to the inside. And to add insult to injury, this is a magic house that changes a lot throughout the entire movie. So I'm not exactly sure what version of this house I built. I think it's the version from the very end of the movie. Spoiler alert, click away now or fast forward like a minute. But basically at the end of the movie, the house gets destroyed and rebuilt. And I think that this is the version that I built because there is certain additions that I don't think are at the start of the movie. Realistically, I think that this is kind of a mismatch of a bunch of the different versions throughout the movie. But in terms of the context of the movie, this house is the home of the Madrigal family. I'm not even going to say I hope. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. I don't speak Spanish. I apologize. But it is the Madrigal family, and there is a huge extended family from the grandmother, her 3 children, and then their subsequent children and grandchildren, whatever. But it's a huge family that all live in this one house together, and it's a magical house that's kind of designed to protect them from the outside world. And every member of the family has a different ability and kind of magic touches, except for one of the granddaughters, sorry. And that's kind of where the story comes in. But each child gets their own distinct bedroom, and their bedroom is kind of unlocked by these magic doors. And basically when you open a door, there's this huge expansive room. Like one of the kids, he can like talk to animals, and when you open his door, it's like a huge tundra. There's animals everywhere and it's massive, and I just couldn't build that in The Sims. One of the daughters, she has the ability to like grow flowers, and it's all really beautiful. Her pink tower, which you've probably seen already in the build, is the one covered with all the flowers at the front of the house. Her room is like this huge expansive floral explosion of madness, and you just can't do that in The Sims. So in terms of the bedrooms in my build, I basically had to take the light suggestion of a couple of the builds, like the boy who is really into animals. I kind of gave his room like a green theme, put grass on his floor instead of carpet, and kind of added in like the animals that are like carved out of bushes that are in the like landscaping section. Anyway, but then the daughter who likes flowers, I gave her like a very floral pink explosion kind of room. And there's another daughter who's super strong. I gave her a bedroom that kind of joins to a gym. Just tried to like give the idea of whose bedrooms are whose, but those are kind of the only 3 themed ones that I went with, because you don't see all of the rooms throughout the entire movie, but I tried to give just kind of indications of whose they might be. I'll leave it up to you. Also, there is room for, I believe, 11 bedrooms, but I've only furnished 8 or 9 of them. I know I left at least 2 rooms empty, partly because I was running out of inspiration, and partly because if you download this house, you can turn them into whatever you want. But downstairs, kind of the main floor, I did something really cool, and I am not currently watching my footage because the edited video is currently rendering, and while it's rendering, I can't watch it, but I thought it was a good time to start recording this. And basically, in the movie, there is a stairs that is kind of in this open courtyard area in the center of the house, and I had a lot of fun building this because originally I just had one of the like right angle bent stairs, and it just didn't look right. It didn't look very like fluid like it is in the movie, because the stairs moves around a lot because Magic House, you know. So what I ended up doing, instead of using stairs, because there is multiple stairs up to the 2nd level and 3rd and 4th or whatever, because the primary staircase wasn't necessarily needed for gameplay, I decided instead of just using stairs, I would use these little like display tables. I think they came with Get to Work, and I basically used them in a brown swatch so they look like wooden steps, and I sized them down and just kind of like made this curved stairs. And I think it turned out really, really cool. I'm really proud of it. Again, I'm not sure what part of the video you are looking at, but I just wanted to throw that out there, that took so long to do. I definitely was going to leave in that footage because I had to cut out a lot of footage, but that I was like, no, I'm keeping this in. Just because it took so long to do. Like, I had to do it, like, I started doing it, and you'll probably see it in the footage. I started doing it, and it was going really well, and then I realized, oh, I'm too close to the wall. I need to push everything over. And then in doing that, I had to scoot everything individually, alt place it again, re-raise different ones, and add in more steps. But in the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out. There's no railing on it because that's just really hard. But I do really like it. I also used, I think it's a light, but that like curved object, I think it might have come with Get Famous or City Living. I'm not sure. Maybe Get Together. But it's this like curved item, and I think it's a light, but it has little birds on it, and it's huge. It's massive. So I used it kind of as a guide for the shape of the stairs, and it just turned out really good. So I'm just really happy with it. That's why I'm talking about it now. It's not really that important, but I just thought it was cool, so I wanted to throw it out there. For the rest of the build, I found it very hard to get reference photos for this one. And I could have pulled the movie up on Disney Plus and just like scrolled through it and take some of my own screenshots. But I've recently discovered that you can no longer screenshot on Disney Plus. It comes up as like a blank screenshot. I used to be able to do it because I know I definitely did it when I was building the WandaVision houses, because I just went in and took so many screenshots like the day those episodes came out. So instead of doing that, I was relying on YouTube clips, and I was relying on Google Images and Pinterest and all those things, my other like go-tos. If I can't get the original thing, I could have just had it up and been able to like scroll to different sections of the movie or whatever, but it was just annoying, so I just didn't want to do that. But I was kind of limited in terms of what I was working from in that sense. So the primary areas that I really wanted to get accurate to the movie, because I know that huge portions of the movie happen in these areas, was the kitchen, the dining room, and the outdoor dining room, and the courtyard. So there's kind of 3 dining tables very close together in this house. 2 kind of more or less in the same room, but they're kind of separated by different levels of platforms. And then outside, literally like 10 feet away, is another table that they kind of have breakfast on in another scene. And I just thought it was really cool. But those 4 rooms 3 rooms and 1 outdoor area. I just really wanted to get accurate, or as accurate as I could, mainly because they were the only ones that I could find really good reference photos for. I also found some really cool concept art of the kitchen. Again, if I remember, I will throw it up here, or back while I was actually building the kitchen, or in the future, wherever it is in this video, I don't know. But I will put it up while I'm building the kitchen because it was a really good image to have. And whenever I can find something like concept art for a film, I try to use it as reference. So there was some of the kitchen and some of the main courtyard. But the courtyard seemed to have changed a lot between the movie and the concept stage. So I didn't really want to use the concept art that much. But anyway, those are just really handy to have. It makes it a much easier thing to build. And it was just very, very fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. And I just think it turned out really good. So I'm just really excited to talk about it. Like I said, this house has like 11 bedrooms and like 9 bathrooms. I don't think it's 9. I think it might be like 6 or 7. But a lot. And basically what I ended up doing was all the bathrooms are more or less the same. The only difference is some just have showers, or some just have baths, or some have a combination of both, but they're more or less the same in every single bathroom. The layouts are different, and like the shapes of the room are different, but they're more or less the same. And that was simply just because while I was building this massive house, it was just easy to have something that I didn't have to think too much about. Also, some of the bedrooms, I actually went to the pre-built room section that's built into The Sims in the like build category, and I pulled out some of the existing bedrooms and kind of like mashed them together with a bit of my own jazz or whatever. That was a weird way of saying that, but you know what I mean. Just because 11 bedrooms is a lot. Like I said, I left at least 2, if not 3 bedrooms. I think 3 actually. There's one at the back of the house, one at the front, and one on like a 3rd floor by itself that I didn't actually want to turn into a bedroom because I thought it could be like a cool studio or another gym or something. So I left that up to you guys. But basically, the reason why I did that was just to cut back on the amount of build time I was spending on this house. Because as it stands, I had over 4 hours of footage by the time I even got to the bedrooms. So I spent a lot of time on this, and a lot of what I did on the outside after I built the initial house and did a lot of the like primary landscaping, I'll call it, like the climbing vines up the side of the house and the trees out the front and a few things like that. I did a lot of the landscaping off camera just because it was a lot. There was a lot to do, and it was just kind of annoying and a bit tedious, and I'm not a great landscaper, so I never really want to show it off. So I didn't even record it. It's not that I didn't even include the footage. I just didn't record it. So there was just a lot. So that's why I kind of cheated a bit with some of the bedrooms. But yeah, anyway. Also, I built this house on the 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg, on that island, just because I find it to be a good lot for lighting. Even when I actually upload it to the gallery, I do flip it around because the way it's facing at the moment, that's just where the sun hits it, and it's the best place to build from, just in terms of like making a decent looking video. But then when you try to put it on the gallery, it switches it around so you're looking at the back of the house. So I flipped it again. So if you download this house, you might want to like rotate it on the lot or whatever. But ideally, I would have loved to have built this house in Selva Dorada, which is the world that came with Jungle Adventure, because that world just kind of felt like the idea of what this house should be. And I actually tested it, and this house does fit on a 30 by 30 lot in Selva Dorada, but it basically fits wall to wall on every side. So none of the landscaping will be there, but you will be able to fit the house. Hopefully. I hope I didn't like misjudge that, but I did check it. I did bring the lot into Selva Dorada, and it does fit on one of them. But the annoying thing about that is it isn't a residential lot then, it is just a holiday lot. I don't know if there's a way through gameplay of making it a residential lot eventually, but as far as I know, you can't permanently live in those worlds, in the like vacation worlds, which I think is weird. I do think that's strange. But anyway, just because I wanted to include more landscaping and kind of give it this very grandiose feel, I did build it on the 64 by 64 lot. But if you want, like I said, try your hand at fitting it on a different lot that works in like maybe a more appropriate setting. But yeah, I don't know what else to talk about now because I'm nearly at 20 minutes of an audio and I think my video is like 35 minutes long. So I don't know what to talk about for the next 15 minutes. So I don't know. I might just go on one of my usual rants of thanking people for watching my videos, because it's a very, very nice feeling. Even when I go like a week or two without posting, I am still checking comments and I'm trying to reply to people, and I still get a lot of comments from new people and existing people, and it's just turning into a very nice little community, and it makes me very, very happy. So thank you guys for watching. I honestly cannot explain how much I truly appreciate it. There is one person in particular that I just want to give a very quick shout out to. It's TownieSimBuilds here on YouTube. He comments on all of my videos and he watches all of them, and it makes me so happy. He's one of my like regular viewers, and he has an amazing channel. He does a crap ton of Sims content, way more than I do. He does stuff from movies and TV shows. He does original stuff. Just, you have to check him out. His channel is great. I will have it linked in the description. And if you're watching this, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I just wanted to call you out because you are one of the viewers who just seems to keep coming back, and you comment on all my stuff, and it warms my heart. So I really do appreciate it. So thank you. And everyone else watching, please go check out his stuff because it's insane. The stuff that he built. He built the Romanov Manor. I can only call it a manor, from Anastasia, and it is insane. I cannot get over how he did it. So good. So good. But yeah, he just does a lot of insanely really good builds. And I actually checked just before recording this, and it's so ironic, but he actually just built this house as well. His version is honestly just insane. It is so good, so detailed. His attention to detail is amazing. Also, if you are watching, I promise I didn't just steal your idea and just decide to build this. I honestly didn't know you had built it until just now. But it's really good. So well done. And I swear I'm not copying you. But anyway, that's my weird little tangent about that over. But yeah, just thank you to everyone who watches my stuff and likes my videos and leaves comments and all that stuff. I really do appreciate it. And I'm growing a nice little cute little corner of the internet for myself. It just makes me very happy. And I do really, really enjoy playing The Sims and making content and stuff. So it's just really encouraging to get that extra little kick. In terms of like future videos on my channel, like I said, I'm going to keep building houses like this from TV shows and movies. And I'm hoping to start that series that I've been swearing on for the last like 6 months. But I'm hoping to get around to that sooner rather than later. And then down the line, like further down the line, I am hoping to go back to university come September time. So I'm not sure what the very long-term future of my channel looks like. But for now, I'm hoping to have some regular content going out, and I'm just very excited about it. So if you guys did like this video or any of my other ones, please do remember to subscribe. Keep coming back for more because I'm hoping to have more regular content coming out. And I know I say that in every single video, but I really am trying. I really, really am. It might not be as regular as I want, but for now, this is what I'm doing, and I'm happy with it. I think it's good. But yeah, if you do like this video, remember to like, subscribe, share it with a friend, all that good stuff. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions. It'll get added to my little list. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to wrap up the voiceover now and just play out the rest of the video with some music. And yeah, I never know how to end these. I always do this. I always get to the very end and I'm like, I've talked for 20 plus minutes and now all of a sudden I don't know what to say. It's very weird. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye, guys.